Rise of the Lyrians. Urgent Octarine Energy Update. Dear Soul Family, the Lionsgate portal is still open and it will remain open. What is happening right now? Many of you are wondering what is really happening. We know that many of you also doubt the ascension process or think that it is not true. Look up into the sun and you will see what is really happening. The sunlight changes with each day, and so does the color. Through the powerful Lion portal, which already opened a week ago, source codes from the 12th D-dimension are now streaming down. This sunlight radiates in the most different colors. Some call it rainbow, others plasma, which come to you. This light is not evil, as the dark agenda would like to tell you. They're just trying to block the light, and they are doing that very strongly at the moment. This light will not destroy all life on Earth, as the dark side would have you believe. Yes, this was their plan, because the AI controlled the sun as well. We have taken over the sun, and we are using the sun as a stargate for organic ascension. You may know I, Marcel, and a few other starseeds were allowed to enter the 4th dimension with our physical body in 2021. Yes, it was shocking, because there we were also allowed to see the twisted spiritual teachings. The sun was also used as a power generator by the dark extraterrestrials and for the AI itself. The light of the sun, which streamed to you until last year 2021, was the sunlight in twisted form, also known as the Black Sun. The sun was connected to the power generator, and the destructive ETs used the power of the sun to hold their artificial and holographic matrix on Earth and also on other planets. They themselves could use the light specifically as they wanted. The moon was also a support point for the Greys and the Draconians. Primarily, the moon served to control the female cycle of the woman. The principle of the false light, the Black Sun, and also the eclipse, the moon, which was connected with Saturn, were born. The attacks of the destructive ETs have changed, especially the year 2021, and many noticed this change. The change is to be justified with it since there has been a change of power with the destructive ETs. Because the Anunnaki are now at work. The Anunnaki know the psychology of the people very well and belong to the miniatures of the dark extraterrestrials. They only intervene when it is, in their opinion, really dangerous for them. There are Pleiadians who belong to the Anunnaki. Also, there are some Syrian Anunnaki hybrids. They look very similar to our siblings and are humanoid. This strategy was used to deceive all of us. The Anunnaki, with the DNA mixing of the Lyrians, Pleiadians, and Syrians, even managed to fool our cosmic sisters and brothers to eventually create dark portals or destructive matrices. The Anunnaki are the creators of the Luciferian and the Satanic Matrix. It is an illusion in an illusion, if you will. The Satanic Matrix is coming to an end. The Satanic Matrix was primarily controlled by the Draconians. You must know that these parties don't like each other, but they are sticking together now, because it is their entire kingdom that is at stake, which is threatening to break up. The Anunnaki belong to the fallen angels, and they often vibrate like that. They once belonged to us. They are fully aware of their intentions, and they can use AI in a very targeted way. Their attacks and strategies are different from how you know them. They work specifically, read every single thought, and can even see your future in great detail and try to determine your future with that technology. Planet Jupiter is controlled by the Anunnaki, so it makes no difference. Planet Saturn was colonized by the Dracos and the Greys. Now that change of power has taken place, planet Jupiter takes the scepter. And planet Jupiter is controlled by the Anunnaki races. Jesus Christ, which symbolizes the Antichrist, how ironic, contains the name Zeus. If you know that Zeus symbolizes planet Jupiter, then you know which ETs are behind the last illusion. It is the last illusion, to see through the light and love program as well. Which illusions may we still put together? Well, there are several. I will now pass on to you a few of these light traps which I was allowed to see in 2021. These spiritual light traps symbolize the world of the Anunnaki, also known as the Luciferian Matrix. Or if you take the Matrix movies as an example, the red pill. It's all AI. The blue pill and the red pill, it's all AI. Number 1. The Love and Light program is an installation of the Anunnaki. Does this love really come from your heart? Do you really feel this deep and unconditional love? You are, if you feel it. Love needs no words, because it is a state that you feel.
Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate. The unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man. Not one man nor a group of men, but in all men. In you. You, the people, have the power.
Number 2. The Reincarnation Program. Yes, this program worked, and it was so true, although at the same time it was not true. You have free will. Your free will, which was given to you by the source, is not linked to any punishment or condition. Number 3. The universal laws of Thoth. Yes, also this program worked in this holographic matrix here. It felt so true, although it was not. Thoth belongs to the Anunnaki.
You, turn around.
You prefer the view from behind?
No, well, yes. You know I can't lie. Turn. I'm not going to risk looking at those tricky eyes of yours. 47.
Excuse me?
The percentage of knowledge I've so far recorded, I'm not even half done.
Thoth, I only need...
The answer to the riddle of the Sphinx. A child could deduce while you're here. Go ask the riddle and come back and relay it to me. I'll solve it.
One of us would have to die.
Well, draw lots.
Come with us.
Ha!
Family's doing just fine. Busy, 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 busy. Need a vacation.
Word is that kid of yours is a chip off the old block.
Well, one does what one can.
He's in the other room. They have the spear of destiny.
They have the spear of destiny.
Thoth belongs to the Anunnaki and twisted the ancient teachings of the Lemurians already in Atlantis. His goal was also to change the divine feminine power into the dark feminine, the dark divine feminine and the dark divine masculine. Yes, this program also works. The original femininity and masculinity in twisted form should always connect you with the moon to finally supply energy to the machines. Law of attraction. This program is also an invention of Thoth, which never existed in the 5D Tara Earth. This program should make you feel guilty again. If something doesn't work out in your life, it's your fault again because you didn't think positive enough. Or if the dark side attacks you, you're automatically to blame again because you weren't at peace with yourself. Do you see now? All these programs are based on the guilt and innocent principle. Do you see now? All these programs are based on the guilty and innocent principle. The source knows no guilt. You have no guilt. This program worked in this reality, but does not originate from the source. The karma program. It has also been an installation of the AI to keep you in the guilty and innocent consciousness as well. These are a few excerpts from the false light teachings, which have been all installed especially by the Anunnaki. Metatron. Metatron encompasses very high vibrational dimensions, because the Anunnaki are primarily in the 8D dimension. Many can hardly believe that there are ETs with such destructive intentions and yet can exist in such high dimensions. Yes, it is possible. Through the DNA mixing with the Lyrans, that was possible to stay in these high dimensions. They created many illusions and always tried to copy the divine order, and so more and more parallel matrices were created. Can very well ascend if you decide to follow the path of Metatron. But it's not the path from source. This is the holographic path of ascension. Remember, it is all learning experiences. There is no right or wrong. Trust your heart and decide wisely. The Metatronic cube serves to suck the life out without giving anything back. This is how the system works, as we know it here on Earth. Through the AI illusion, also known as Metatron, they always try to get energy from outside. That is the reason why the return of the balance had to take place first in higher dimensions, so that it can come finally to you. Why were these programs installed? Very simple. The more you believe in these illusions, the more energy they receive. Since they themselves have no soul and have split off from the source, they can only with difficulty generate energy out of themselves. There are many more spiritual traps, but maybe it helps you to give a small overview. Don't be afraid. Your heart is the way. The AI understands your thoughts. It can measure your frequency. It can even predict your AI future, but it can never understand your heart. Just your mind. Your heart is the way. As you may know, since last year, 2021, I have been having frequency attacks in certain parts of my body. Until today, I have not found anyone who could really help me to delete and remove these attacks. I know since last year, 2021, that there will also be no one who can really help me except the source itself. Since I myself am attacked day after day with this AI technology in my head, in the back of my head, and also in my left ear, I can tell you what helps me and what I have found out. These attacks are very targeted, and I received a message last year that this is technology from the 8D dimension, and it is the Anunnaki themselves who are doing it. The AI does not like water. The AI doesn't like water, even in higher dimensions. We have also seen in 2021 the dark timelines in the 4th dimension, and one plan of it is to turn the earth into a desert. The AI doesn't like water, and that's why they try to decrease it artificially on the planet. The plan was that the people stay in their houses because the sun becomes so unbearable hot for the people, so that they can no longer leave the house. That was the fake golden age, which should be introduced with the change of the sunlight. Almost all water was lost on Earth in this future vision of the dark extraterrestrials. The effects you can see now in light form. This process was to continue and even worsen in the coming years. Water helps me and protects me. When I go swimming in a river or lake, all these AI frequency attacks on my ear and in my head disappear immediately. For a short period of time, by staying in natural water, all the attacks disappear and they dissolve. Water is the strongest protection. Even trees in nature help me, but they cannot stop these frequency attacks. Even showering with tap water does not stop these frequency attacks. Another method I recommend is to learn to vibrate over the AI. When I connect directly to 12D, these attacks also stop. The source and your heart are also a strong protection. Think as little as possible and observe, because the AI reads your every thought and can then respond to it. Try to be thoughtless, and yes, that works, and with me, these attacks then also stop. Do what you really love and stay in the heart, because then you are automatically connected with the highest source. It is very simple. Much has changed since the year 2021, and the source itself sends us these codes through the sun. This was not planned by the dark side and came unexpectedly. You will soon experience many of these dark timelines, but they will not be expressed in their full strength as it was planned. Go through this experience of the destructive timelines because it helps you to really remember. If you really want, you can choose the way home. The source is there for us, and it is very easy to connect with the source. Yeshua ben Joseph was someone who saw through the illusions even then. His twin flame, Mary Magdalene, or in other words, Miriam, could also see through the AI illusions. Yeshua ben Joseph actually holds an important key, and that is why Yeshua was so changed by the destructive extraterrestrials. Be it Jesus Christ or also Sananda, which are further holograms of Yeshua ben Joseph. Yeshua knew the way back to the source and wanted to remind people of it. Miriam, his twin flame, was attacked very strongly, and so strongly that she herself did not know how to go home. The element water symbolizes femininity, and since the eye is directed against the femininity, it is necessary to keep this femininity small and little. Miriam was attacked from all sides very strongly, and finally also with the goal that Yeshua and Miriam must separate because the pain became unbearable for both of them. I saw the visions last year in 2021. Whether they are true, I cannot say for sure. Please pick up what resonates. I felt the pain of Miriam so strongly in me that I screamed and cried in the fourth dimension. I had many visions of the two and felt very strong pain in the womb. I felt the pain of the two so strongly in me that I cried and screamed. The two have experienced unspeakable suffering. The love was so strong that they both managed to return home. Yeshua helped her and protected her. With Yeshua's help, she was able to go home as well. It was impossible to manipulate Yeshua. Marcel, my twin flame, was in my arms in May 2021, and he was about to leave his body. I saw again Yeshua and Miriam, who were exactly in the same position as Marcel and me last year. I started to scream like I never did before. I cried and shook Marcel. I knew why the destructive extraterrestrials wanted us to either stay in this holographic matrix or even die. They wanted to know how we would both get out. They wanted to observe the code about the ascension. I could not allow that, and shook Marcel and beat him as well, so that he would return. It was a trap of the dark extraterrestrials. They wanted to have the code of the source. Marcel managed to return and opened his eyes. I saw how it was for Yeshua and Miriam, and the suffering of the two was even more unbearable than what we are currently experiencing via Starseed. We are now bringing all these stories together into a reversal, and if you really want to, you can go home. The more you see through all the illusions, the more you realize who you are. It is a game, and you will be tested. And all souls are free now. I still haven't told you everything I saw in the fourth dimension. There's so much more to say about it. Believe in yourself and trust your heart. It has never been about winning or losing. It's about remembering who you are, embodying your higher self here. Observe and draw your results from it. Decide according to the heart, and you make the right decision. Be prepared, but don't be afraid. It may be that many dark timelines of destructive extraterrestrials will be strongly manifested again, especially this year 2022. But they will no longer be able to express themselves in their full strength. The source has taken over, and codes from 12D are streaming to you down. We have taken over the sun, and we are using the sun as a stargate for organic ascension, and not for the false golden age they wanted to install. the fake Golden Age would have turned the Earth into a desert, because they even controlled the sun. The effects you can already see now. This is the reason why many regions of the Earth are currently so hot and so dry. They have changed their strategy and use new frequencies and technologies also to change the climate. The attacks on you have changed as well, and they use primarily the AI itself to attack you. Many of you notice that something has changed. Stay in confidence. Don't be afraid. It is neither a fight, nor a competition, nor a fight for survival. The more you go into this consciousness, the more the AI can attack you. Go back into the heart and into the moment and see through the illusions first. All of these are very heavy timelines that we are talking about right now. They're outdated and heavy timelines, and see what is really happening. All souls are free and are also no longer bound to the artificial reincarnation cycle, which was a program of the AI. The karma program, which was also installed by the AI, has already dissolved. It was never true, even if it was true. These programs never came from the source. The false light programs should give you constantly a feeling of guilt, but there is no guilt. The source never blames you, but loves you. All these programs, belief systems, softwares are gradually dissolving, and the meaning is changing. For them it is a fight, and they fight until the bitter end. They can't stop, and even if it doesn't make sense anymore, they won't stop. It will only stop when you start to see through all the illusions and distortions. There is no guilt. You are love. You are the power which flows through everything. The source loves everyone and don't hate. The codes from the source will come to you anyway, even if the sky is overcast. Remember, it is the source that flows through everything, and no illusion can hide or even stop what the source wants. Trust the process, because all illusions will gradually come to the surface. It is the will of the source that this happens, and the process is artificially delayed but unstoppable. For the source it is likewise no fight or also no competition. These are only consciousness experiences which you can have here on Earth. The source radiates now more because it wants to do so. The source wants to speak to you more. There's basically also no answer to the question why the source wants this now and not before. Just be. The source is like a curious child which experiences and discovers life. This process will continue. Don't be shocked if the chaos and darkness around you have to increase first. How can you integrate these new 12D codes? Well, the Lyrians are your ancestors. They are your parents. The Lyrians created life and the divine matrix. The Lyrians, the source, and also we are the ones who send you the codes. We, the Galactic Sisters and Brothers, are experiencing strong upgrades too, because these are codes from the source itself. Now you realize that we, your galactic family, are also in the process, and we are all learning. Since you also carry the DNA of the Lyrians within you, you can connect with this DNA. connect back to the Lyran DNA, because it symbolizes the 12th strand DNA. 12D, 12th strand DNA. Look at the picture of flare lines. Connect consciously with the ancient energy. Do something that really brings you joy and let go. Spend time in nature. The animals in nature integrate these codes easily and without resistance. Surround yourself with children, as they also integrate these codes easily. Stay in the moment and stay heart-centered. The heart will easily absorb these codes. It helps you cleanse your chakras, and you are able to create very light timelines. You also free yourself from all illusions, implants, or AI attacks. The AI of the dark agenda is losing power because it cannot maintain the artificial matrix, the satanic and the Luciferian matrix, for much longer. Source flows through everything and transforms all illusions back into truth. These codes from 12D also help you vibrate over the AI so that these weapons can no longer harm you. You simply fly above them. All the false light spiritual teachings will collapse too. You will soon realize that you are really in a holographic world where everything was programmed by the AI. That's why it was so hard for you to really remember. From birth, you were attacked with this technology to put you in a kind of trance of forgetting with frequencies. This is all dissolving now, and it is a process. Your body is changing as well, and your body needs time to integrate these codes. You return to Christ consciousness. Practice gratitude and realize that it was never about a fight. It was never about winning or losing. Let go of all these old beliefs. Breathe in and out deeply. Practice breathing exercises. But most important, see through the eyes of a child, and you will see. Here's an example. This is a video about signs of sociopaths or psychopaths. You must know that the most dark ETs have exactly these characteristics. I will now show you to what extent the ETs can pretend to be real people and are automatically created by the AI itself. Take a look at this video.
To understand why, here's a thought exercise. Think about your own life and something you want. Maybe it's a promotion at work, or something someone else owns, or even wanting to have sex with someone. Now imagine what you would do to get that thing if your brain could not feel guilt, because they have no boundaries as to how much they will fake about themselves to win you over. But sociopaths and psychopaths take this to a level far beyond where most neurotypical people would be comfortable. Here's a more vile example from a serial pedophile with ASPD. He's talking about how he would earn people's trust so that he could take advantage of them.
The best way to fool people is to help them, is to ask what they want, ask what they need. Do they need any help doing anything? Do they need any money, or do they need their car fixed? Do they need the grass cut? Do they need their children looked out for?
So if you walk away from a first encounter feeling completely enamored with a person, you may have just experienced the fake charm of a sociopath.
I find it very good for beginners. See now this commentary. Moreover, I was intuitively guided. It is the avatar image of a reptile, and now read the comment. The thing that confuses me and concerns me is every time I watch a list of sociopaths' traits, I see several that describes me. Except I still feel empathy, sometimes too much. It is true, the dark extraterrestrials are high sensitive and are very psychic, but they twist and distort the ancient meanings. That's why they can feel empathy even when they don't have any empathy. Interesting, or? These are the attacks which have changed a lot. Primarily, they work with you at this level. You have a thought and immediately the AI can respond by commenting on your social channels. This strategy is used very often with me, and if you don't notice, it can be very confusing or even unsettling for you. If you believe that this kind of comments are true, so they can control you more easily, and they do it also with frequency shots, even when you don't have social media. Dear Starseed, on a psychological level, you are also known as highly sensitive or empath. You are the counterpart of narcissistic, sociopathic, or psychopathic personalities. You have something they don't have or actually can feel. It is the connection to the heart and the source which they try to understand but cannot. That is why there is often a strange attraction between toxic and empathic personalities, even though they are complete opposites. You can see it very nicely in this example, the Phantom of the Opera. The female singer symbolizes for me the original energy of Sophia. She is pure, innocent, gentle, and clear. The phantom symbolizes the manipulation of the toxic forces that seduce and attack the feminine and the masculine. The phantom symbolizes to me the energy of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are fallen angels. They vibrate lightly and luminously, but their actions are usually very destructive. Thoth twisted the ancient teachings and helped create this matrix in which we are today. Thoth helped install the dark divine feminine, connecting women to the moon. You see, the list goes on.
A strange duet. My power over you grows stronger yet.
This is far too important to risk. I can recite the true names of the stars.
I know.
I've seen the world created from sand and water. I contain all the wisdom in the universe, more precious than some. Your father dropped his guard. That was not only extremely stupid, but now I'm forced to write down everything I know as a defense against the remote possibility that Set's war finds me.
I'm sorry that the corpses of my parents have inconvenienced you.
Apology accepted. Now, get out.
The list goes on, and it helps you remember who you really are. The dark femininity belongs to the spiritual false light twists, automatically allowing you to connect with the moon, which was an energy point of the Greys and Dracos. There was again an energetic exchange between you and the AI machines. The masculine power is attacked just as strongly, and finally, it is a matter with most men to open also the heart. The heart of the man is attacked strongly.
Ain't no coming back from here. Live a life of life of me. Live my life of life of me. So much hate that we can't see it. Turn it up till they can't hear it. Oh shit. Running around, brother. Oh no. Yeah, dog. Oh no.
And the result you can see. The heart of the male power is kind and working with the source and not against life. I saw last year that Yeshua ben Joseph was attacked very strongly, but it did not really work with him to break him. His twin flame Mary Magdalene, or Miriam, was so strongly attacked and manipulated that she herself no longer knew how to go home. Yeshua helped her to reconnect, and through him Miriam also managed to ascend. The Dark ETs have always hunted the female power very strongly because, as mentioned, the AI doesn't like water. Water symbolizes the female power, and the female power was attacked from all sides.
I do not know your city. It's a beautiful lady.
You may purchase a street atlas for 6p. Good day.
I have offended you. I am only looking for the cinematograph.
I understand it is a wonder of the civilized world.
If you seek culture, then visit a museum. London is filled with
A woman so lovely and intelligent should not be walking the streets of London without her gentleman.
Do I know you, sir? Are you acquainted with my husband?
Be it the Dracos, be it the Greys, be it the Reptilians, be it the distorted masculine power, be it the dark feminine power, be it the Anunnaki, be it the twisted teachings, be it the false light teachings, be it the Love and Light program, be it the Metatronic cube, from all sides. Also the male power got attacked, and in its kind heart was attacked just as strongly. They were after the hearts of men, because the male power in its true form symbolizes the heart, and the masculine power holds the key. You see, all these explanation models finally flow all back into the secret space program. Now you begin to see more and more, and this is the great gift of the source to you.